ESG is, a framework used by investors, regulators, and companies to assess the non-financial risks and impacts. For us, when we look at ESG platforms, what are they? They're typically compliance focused, and they support in high-level data aggregation. So collecting different environmental, social, and governance metrics across an organization and outputting those metrics against an ESG framework or specific reporting standards that an organization wants to meet. Um, carbon management, carbon management is actually, a subset of the E, right? But it is much more than just what needs to be done in terms of ESG or the E within ESG. So carbon management is a process of measuring, tracking, and reducing carbon emissions through data-driven insights. Carbon management platforms provide detailed carbon accounting across scope one, two, and three. Scope one and two being the data within your organization that you can use to measure your emissions, and scope three being the data across your value chain, both upstream and downstream. And this information is much more granular, harder to come by, and requires a little bit, let's say, more work to be used for, carbon accounting purposes, and then as well as meeting your e-reporting requirements. Um, I guess why is it important that, we understand the differences between the two? I think when a lot of organizations say we need to go on an ESG journey, what that ESG journey entails of them can be very different. Is it, I need to produce a report, I need to report on certain material topics, which material topics are important based upon the type of organization I am. For most organizations, carbon emissions, 99% of all organizations will need to measure and report on their carbon emissions. Depending upon the complexity of their business, will an ESG solution meet those needs? Do they have a lot of data? Is their organization complex? Is their value chain complex? That's where you kind of look at, well, do I need a carbon management solution, or do I need an ESG solution that meets, let's say, the carbon accounting requirements that I need to do as a company?